Kia ora. We at Golden Sands Baptist are a community of local people who follow the teachings of Jesus. We love our neighborhood and we want to see it thrive. And we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to build a building that can be a blessing to our community for years to come.
This is such an exciting and magnificent week for us at Golden Sands Baptist. After 5 years working on this project, we have been handed over the keys and our dream has come into reality. The biggest challenge, I feel, for me anyway, was to produce a building complex that would serve the wider community outside of the church, as well as meet the needs of Golden Sands Baptist Church people.
I had a pastor friend having lunch here one day and saying how somebody ought to get hold of some land down there for a church because you can't have a city down there without a church. And he turns to me and said, well, if you don't do it, who's going to do it?
What were some of the big challenges? Well, one of the biggest challenges is to try to find the right combination of people. And we had to, as a church, find the right person to fit. And so we found that in Colin, and then we found that in the next layer of leadership, and people just started to come together.
You know, when we started, it was a challenge of looking for facilities, and so we ended up having to meet in the basement of Mount Maunganui Baptist Church for a few months. To get our feet, we managed to rent a concrete storage facility and turn that into a church. But I can tell you what, man, five years after we started this church, I can just look back and see how God has been so faithful. He's provided for what we've needed, and He's brought the people that we've needed at every stage of the journey.
My biggest hope for this building complex is it will serve our community effectively, and that it will enable us to spread the message of Jesus, that there is new life in Him.
I want to see us to be salt and light in the community. I want to see it where people are coming to know Jesus, they're being discipled, and we're growing as a church and making a difference in our community to make it a better community.
I'm really excited about what's happening today as we celebrate the opening of Golden Sands Baptist Church building. But it's more about the future, isn't it? It's about what's going to be happening in 10 or 20 or 30 years' time. And as we look at the opening of this building and we look back at it, we're just going to say that was a trigger point for what God has done into the future. And you're going to go, hey, the opening of this building initiated something that's just been a fantastic blessing to the whole community now for decades. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't that be just an example of who God is?
My hope is that Golden Sands will always be a community that is working to follow Jesus faithfully, to listen to His call, to live in a world that's not based on our comfort or our needs, but around service and sacrifice for one another, that our lives are lived as worship to God. As we move into this next stage, I hope we will always keep that focus of how do we serve our neighborhood well? How do we love our neighbors really, really well? One of the visions that we have is drawn from Revelation, where God says, behold, I'm making all things new. And so my hope is that our church family will always be a community that's asking, what would it look like if God made Papamoa new?